All right, what's going on, guys? I wanted to come on here. Honestly, I like just don't feel like talking about this team because a lot has been going on. Obviously, baseball is underway, and then the Cavs are obviously going for a sweep tomorrow. But I'm not gonna sit here and tell you I'm so upset at this team that I was after the first pick. I'll be honest, I wasn't a big fan of it, but this team causes a lot of aches, and while I love them, I think they belong in September right now at this point. But I will have obviously the draft video out, and then I'll have the schedule, I guess, early prediction. But I'm kind of done with the optimism for them, just because I feel like when you get your hopes up, and you're more bound to be disappointed, especially with a franchise and a team like the Cincinnati Bengals. And this has nothing to do with how I think the draft went. I'll tell you how I think it went. I don't think it was horrible. I don't think it was amazing, but you know, part of being a fan of this team is not getting too optimistic, and that's just how I see it. And I think you could say that it's a Cincinnati sports thing, period, but certainly applies to this franchise, especially at this particular moment in time. And last year is a prime example of that. But I'm gonna take you through it. I'll tell you everything that I have about to say about this draft, and then you know, hopefully I get to talk about this team in a positive light coming up if there's something good that happens. But let's hit on this draft, man. So obviously we had 6 total picks this season, or this draft. Our main focus was the defensive front 7, the O-line depth, which honestly is, I'm not going to touch too much on the undrafted, but I wanted to just talk about the draft itself. Maybe I'll have another video coming out when I talk about, kind of what this team did in the signing in terms of undrafted guys. But anyway, I don't love it, but I'm not. I feel better about it after the first 6. Honestly, or after the first one. I feel a lot better after the last 5, and I think there's a vision, there. I personally would have taken some other guys, but I'll get through it all, and I'll tell you how I think it's gonna go. But anyway, no secondary picks. We added via free agents. Albeit it's still very young, so you want to see how it develops. But at the same time, I kind of wish that we did draft a little bit more on that. You don't want to rely on just Al Golden getting the most out of, let's say Geno Stone or, pretty much any young guy, Jax Hill, all of them. But yeah, I'm just going to take you through and just tell you what my thoughts are, and I'll hit on that. But round 1, pick 17, we went Shamar Stewart. Obviously, I was not a fan of that pick out of Texas A&M. He was a third-team All-SEC rusher in 2024, and I love the confidence that he had when he said, he led his team in pressures. I like that, but it just feels like the Bengals, their problem is they always go for potential over production. I have a problem with that, personally. I think he's an explosive and amazing athlete, but that doesn't always equal the best. And then, obviously, round 2, Demetrius Knight Jr., linebacker out of South Carolina. He's good at tackling, I guess. Shamar Stewart's main issue is that he just doesn't finish, or he has, a problem, with finishing. Pause. But anyway, moving on. Demetrius Knight Jr., I like it. Versatile linebacker, strong tackling skills. Here was honestly my favorite pick. Round 3, reliable guard. He allowed only 1 sack in the last 2 seasons. I love Dylan Fairchild, and I think that was a really good pick out of Georgia. Their offensive line has obviously been explosive for, a number of years now, and Dylan Fairchild's a big reason why over the last couple. So honestly, I think that was one thing that I wanted in round 1, kind of some O-line depth and everything, but the fact that we got this guy in round 3, I'm not too upset with that. So I will say the first 3 rounds were a little meh, but that round 3 made me feel a lot better about this draft. But again, I'm not feeling great, after the first 3, but let's head into the next. We had 3 others. We selected Barrett Carter, linebacker out of Clemson. I think that's a good pick. I won't lie to you. I think that's a good pick for the Bengals, but I would have personally, and this could be my Buckeye side because I really believe in this guy, but Jack Sawyer. He obviously stripped Quinn Ewers, took it to the house, was the Cotton Bowl game MVP. I don't know, man. I feel like I would have taken it, but that's only because, not only because, I still believe in Jack Sawyer regardless of me being a Buckeye fan or not, but Barrett Carter is a good pick, I would say. He is pretty good, but man, I really wanted Jack Sawyer. And the fact is, Straight up, Pittsburgh Steelers, F you guys so much. You guys took Will Howard and Jack Sawyer. Straight up, I hate you guys so much. But anyway, I mean, that just pisses me off how Will Howard and Jack Sawyer, like, they're the right guys. I love them. I want them to do so well. But man, they just play for the wrong team. I'm praying somehow, some way they get traded or something. They do not belong on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They belong in Ohio or just anywhere but there. But anyway, I mean, moving on. So round 4, I mean, good pick. Strong in coverage. He fits the new, I guess, Al Golden defensive scheme. I'll believe it when I see it, but I'm excited to see what he does. But Jalen Rivers, another good pick. I mean, he can play multiple positions. He's going to be competing, for the guard or the line position, like that. I believe he's right tackle or whatever. I don't know where he's gonna go, but he's versatile, and that's what I love. I can say the same thing about what's his name? Who do we get in out there? Jalen Fairchild. Like, I think he can be versatile at the guard spot. He can compete. Both these guys can compete, and I think they can make it. And, the fact that I'm glad we fired all our coaches. We went through, like, kind of a haul, and I like that. But at the same time, like, I still want to see if it's, like, a coaching issue. Like, is it more so, like, I don't know. Like, no one knows. I mean, no one will know until we go out there and see it. But I'm happy the Bengals got rid of Frank Pollock. His scheme just was not working, even with the talent that we have. I mean, this offensive line, talent-wise, is like top 10. I would damn near say top 10. I mean, it just depends how it all gels and comes together. I hope it does in week 1, but you and I, whoever's watching this, knows it's unlikely that it does. But, I mean, I do like the Jalen Rivers pick and Barrett Carter as well. So, Taj Brooks also in round 6, running back out of Texas Tech, powerful runner. He has over 4,500 career rushing yards. I like it, but it's just it's iffy for me. It's iffy. I mean, it's like not because of this pick. It's just like you go out like that. I like it. I want to just see how it all comes together. I mean, if Chase Brown and, if Zach Moss doesn't come back the same, like, I'm hoping that this guy can fill in the role. I think he has potential to be explosive, but, it all depends on the run blocking scheme. Like, I just want the scheme, and I just want everything to fit well. That's like that's all I'm hoping for, man. But regardless, man, I will say the strengths, I'll address on the strengths, but we addressed the front 7 and the O-line depth, which were huge areas of need, especially for this defense. And Trey Hendrickson is still iffy on. We don't know if we're going to trade him, if we're going to keep him. I'm not sure. Fairchild, he could be starter ready. I mean, he's the best value pick, I would say, for this team. You want to talk about best value on the draft? Like, value. I'm not saying he's automatically going to be good, but the Browns getting Shedeur Sanders was the best value pick, I would say, because, he was expected to be in the first round. And if he ends up being good, it'll be in the history books, which I hope is not the case, because I don't want the Browns, getting a superstar. But, Taj Brooks brings some power running back late in the draft depth. I think that's also a pretty good value. But the draft concern, man, is no secondary help, and that was our issues. But one thing I'll say about that is our issues stemmed from the front 7 being as weak as it was. And obviously, when that happens, quarterbacks have all day to throw, so eventually they're going to bust the coverage open. So, yeah, I'm a little bit concerned about the secondary, but at the same time, I'm hoping that the front 7 is just better, and that could hopefully lead to the secondary having more, production, I guess. But little help on the, Burrow's receiving options. I'm not saying we definitively need receivers, but I'm just saying, like, the depth there would have been good to have, but I'm not too concerned. But the draft just feels more development ready, and we're relying a lot on the coaches. And the results, like, it's going to take time, and we just can't have it. We've missed the playoffs the last 2 years. And, the quote-unquote time has cost us in the end. How many games have you looked at where the young guys just don't play well and that ends up costing us? And we've missed the playoffs by a game. So it's like, you really want to just see it come together. I mean, this is an important offseason, but an important season, too, for Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Like, we can't have them go for explosions and then our defense gives up 70 points. That's just not going to win us games. And that's why I'm just saying, like, I don't like the fact that this is just development and potential. I just want it to all come together and guys that are proven. I mean, look, I don't think the Steelers had a great draft, but Jack Sawyer, those guys he's proven, I feel like. He's established, and he's going to develop in Mike Tomlin's, Terrell Austin's system, but I'm saying, like, I don't know, the Bengals are trying to, like, outsmart everybody. Like, hey, we got this guy, now we're going to outsmart you and take a risk. Like, at this rate, like, when has the risk worked for this franchise? I mean, they're just, to me, they're just very arrogant and very, like, decisive on, like, what they want to do because they just feel like, oh, it's going to be the best pick. Like, no, you got to go off, like, actual tape, for example. Like, I'm not saying they don't read tape, but I'm saying, like, it just seems like they try to outsmart everybody. Doesn't mean they don't care about winning. It just means, like, they just try to be, big brain. And I honestly, I don't know if I'm in the minority, but I really like Duke Tobin. Like, I'm going to grade this a B-. Solid approach to the needs that we needed. I mean, the O-line depth, but the risk level is just too high, especially on some of the early picks, particularly round 1. No skill position guys, but, I mean, the trenches are better. If Stewart develops into a good starter, and I hope to God he does, because I was not feeling good. I don't think Bengals fans in general were feeling good after round 1. But if Stewart can rise and become a quality player for this team, this draft will be a lot better right now than a B-. So I'm just hoping it all, comes together. But right now, my grade is a B-. I have no, reason to rank it any lower, no reason to really rank it any higher, because it's a combination of addressing your needs and addressing potential versus production. And that's just a prime example of how the drafts have kind of biting us in the butt a little bit. But I do like it from a standpoint, like, we didn't just only go risk heavy. So I'm going to grade it a B-. Let me know what you guys think. At the end of the day, I'm hoping it works out, all 6 picks, and then obviously some of the undrafted guys we got. I hope it works out. I mean, Mel Kiper, I think, rated one of the guys that we got, number 1 or 2 in terms of, like, the guys that didn't get drafted. So I'm hoping it works out. But we'll just see where it goes from there. But let's just hope it works out, man. Duke Tobin, you did okay. I'm grading a B-. Not feeling too great. Not feeling, just depressed about the draft. But I think it was okay. But let's hope we get better, especially on defense. You guys have a good one. Hoo day.